1.2.3. Multiply and divide integers. Since multiplication is mathematical shorthand for repeated addition, our model can easily be applied to show multiplication of integers. Let's look at this concrete model to see what patterns we notice. We will use the same examples that we used for addition and subtraction. Here, we are using the model just to help us discover the pattern. We remember that A dot B means add A, B times 5 dot 3. Add 5, 3 times 15 positives. 5 dot 3 equals 15. Negative 5 times, open parenthesis, 3, closed parenthesis. Add negative 5, 3 times 15 negatives. Negative 5 times, open parenthesis, 3, closed parenthesis, equals negative 15. The next two examples are more interesting. What does it mean to multiply 5 by negative 3? It means subtract 5, 3 times. Looking at subtraction as taking away, it means to take away 5, 3 times. But there is nothing to take away, so we start by adding neutral pairs on the workspace. 5 times, open parenthesis, negative 3, closed parenthesis. Take away 5, 3 times. What's left? 15 negatives. 5 times, open parenthesis, negative 3, closed parenthesis, equals negative 15. Open parenthesis, negative 5, closed parenthesis, multiplied by, open parenthesis, negative 3, closed parenthesis. Take away negative 5, 3 times. What's left? 15 positives. Open parenthesis, negative 5, closed parenthesis, multiplied by, open parenthesis, negative 3, closed parenthesis, equals 15. In summary, 5 dot 3 equals 15. 5 times, open parenthesis, negative 3, closed parenthesis, equals negative 15. Negative 5 times, open parenthesis, 3, closed parenthesis, equals negative 15. Open parenthesis, negative 5, closed parenthesis, multiplied by, open parenthesis, negative 3, closed parenthesis, equals 15. Notice that for multiplication of two signed numbers, when the signs are the same, the product is positive. When the signs are different, the product is negative. What about division? Division is the inverse operation of multiplication. So, 15 divided by 3 equals 5, because 5 dot 3 equals 15. In words, this expression says that 15 can be divided into 3 groups of 5 each, because adding 5 3 times gives 15. If you look at some examples of multiplying integers, you might figure out the rules for dividing integers. 5 dot 3 equals 15, so 15 divided by 3 equals 5. Negative 5 times, open parenthesis, 3, closed parenthesis, equals negative 15, so negative 15 divided by 3 equals negative 5. Open parenthesis, negative 5, closed parenthesis, multiplied by, open parenthesis, negative 3, closed parenthesis, equals 15, so 15 divided by, open parenthesis, negative 3, closed parenthesis, equals negative 5. 5 times, open parenthesis, negative 3, closed parenthesis, equals negative 15, so negative 15 divided by, open parenthesis, negative 3, closed parenthesis, equals 5. Division follows the same rules as multiplication with regard to signs. A. Multiplication and division of signed numbers. For multiplication and division of two signed numbers, same signs. Result. 1. Two positives. Result. Positive. 2. Two negatives. Result. Positive. If the signs are the same, the result is positive. Different signs. Result. 1. Positive and negative. Result. Negative. 2. Negative and positive. Result. Negative. If the signs are different, the result is negative. Example 1.18. Multiply or divide. A. Negative 100, divided by, open parenthesis, negative 4, closed parenthesis. B. 7.6. C. 4 times, open parenthesis, negative 8, closed parenthesis. D. Negative 27, divided by, 3. Solution. A. Negative 100, divided by, open parenthesis, negative 4, closed parenthesis. Divide, with signs that are the same, the quotient is positive. 25. B. 7.6. Multiply, with same signs. 42. C. 4 times, open parenthesis, negative 8, closed parenthesis. Multiply, with different signs. Negative 32. D. Negative 27, divided by, 3. Divide, with different signs, the quotient is negative. Negative 9. Try at 1.35. Multiply or divide. A. Negative 115, divided by, open parenthesis, negative 5, closed parenthesis. B. 5.12. C. 9 times, open parenthesis, negative 7, closed parenthesis. D. Negative 63, divided by, 7. Try at 1.36. Multiply or divide. A. Negative 117, divided by, open parenthesis, negative 3, closed parenthesis. B. 3.13. C. 7 times, open parenthesis, negative 4, closed parenthesis. D. Negative 42, divided by, 6. When we multiply a number by 1, the result is the same number. Each time we multiply a number by negative 1, we get its opposite. B. Multiplication by negative 1. Negative 1a equals negative a. Multiplying a number by negative 1 gives its opposite. 1.2.4. Simplify expressions with integers. What happens when there are more than two numbers in an expression? The order of operations still applies when negatives are included. Remember, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally? Let's try some examples. We'll simplify expressions that use all four operations with integers: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Remember to follow the order of operations. Example 1.19. Simplify. A. Open parenthesis, negative 2, closed parenthesis, to the fourth power. B. Negative 2 to the fourth power. Solution. Notice the difference in parts A and B. In part A, the exponent means to raise what is in the parentheses, the negative 2 to the fourth power. In part B, the exponent means to raise just the 2 to the fourth power and then take the opposite. A. Open parenthesis, negative 2, closed parenthesis, to the fourth power. Write in expanded form. Open parenthesis, negative 2, closed parenthesis, multiplied by, open parenthesis, negative 2, closed parenthesis, multiplied by, open parenthesis, negative 2, closed parenthesis, multiplied by, open parenthesis, negative 2, closed parenthesis. Multiply. 4 times, open parenthesis, negative 2, closed parenthesis, multiplied by, open parenthesis, negative 2, closed parenthesis. Multiply. Negative 8 times, open parenthesis, negative 2, closed parenthesis. Multiply. 16. B. Negative 2 to the fourth power. Write in expanded form. Negative, open parenthesis, 2, dot, 2, dot, 2, dot, 2, closed parenthesis. We are asked to find the opposite of 2 to the fourth power. Multiply. Negative, open parenthesis, 4, dot, 2, dot, 2, closed parenthesis. Multiply. Negative, open parenthesis, 8, dot, 2, closed parenthesis. Multiply. Negative 16. Try at 1.37. Simplify. A. Open parenthesis, negative 3, closed parenthesis, to the fourth power. B. Negative 3 to the fourth power. Try at 1.38. Simplify. A. Open parenthesis, negative 7, closed parenthesis, squared. B. Negative 7 squared. The last example showed us the difference between open parenthesis, negative 2, closed parenthesis, to the fourth power, and negative 2 to the fourth power. This distinction is important to prevent future errors. The next example reminds us to multiply and divide in order left to right. Example 1.20. Simplify. A. 8 times, open parenthesis, negative 9, closed parenthesis, divided by, open parenthesis, negative 2, closed parenthesis, to the third power. B. Negative 30, divided by, 2, plus, open parenthesis, negative 3, closed parenthesis, multiplied by, open parenthesis, negative 7, closed parenthesis. Solution. A. 8 times, open parenthesis, negative 9, closed parenthesis, divided by, open parenthesis, negative 2, closed parenthesis, to the third power. Exponents first. 8 times, open parenthesis, negative 9, closed parenthesis, divided by, open parenthesis, negative 8, closed parenthesis. Multiply. Negative 72, divided by, open parenthesis, negative 8, closed parenthesis. Divide. 9. B. Negative 30, divided by, 2, plus, open parenthesis, negative 3, closed parenthesis, multiplied by, open parenthesis, negative 7, closed parenthesis. Multiply and divide left to right, so divide first. Negative 15, plus, open parenthesis, negative 3, closed parenthesis, multiplied by, open parenthesis, negative 7, closed parenthesis. Multiply. Negative 15, plus, 21. Add. 6. Try at 1.39. Simplify. A. 12 times, open parenthesis, negative 9, closed parenthesis, divided by, open parenthesis, negative 3, closed parenthesis, to the third power. B. Negative 27, divided by, 3, plus, open parenthesis, negative 5, closed parenthesis, multiplied by, open parenthesis, negative 6, closed parenthesis. Try at 1.40. Simplify. A. 18 times, open parenthesis, negative 4, closed parenthesis, divided by, open parenthesis, negative 2, closed parenthesis, to the third power. B. Negative 32, divided by, 4, plus, open parenthesis, negative 2, closed parenthesis, multiplied by, open parenthesis, negative 7, closed parenthesis. 1.2.5. Evaluate variable expressions with integers. Remember that to evaluate an expression means to substitute a number for the variable in the expression. Now we can use negative numbers as well as positive numbers. Example 1.21. Evaluate. 4x squared minus 2xy plus 3y squared when x equals 2, y equals negative 1. Solution. 4x squared minus 2xy plus 3y squared. Substitute x equals 2, y equals -1. Use parentheses to show multiplication. 4 times, open parenthesis, 2, closed parenthesis, squared, minus 2 times, open parenthesis, 2, closed parenthesis, multiplied by, open parenthesis, -1, closed parenthesis, plus 3 times, open parenthesis, -1, closed parenthesis, squared. Simplify exponents. 4 minus 2 times, open parenthesis, 2, closed parenthesis, multiplied by, open parenthesis, -1, closed parenthesis, plus 3, 1. Multiply. 16 minus, open parenthesis, -4, closed parenthesis, plus 3. Subtract. 20 plus 3. Add. 23. Try at 1.41. Evaluate. 3x squared minus 2xy plus 6y squared when x equals 1, y equals -2. Try at 1.42. Evaluate. 4x squared minus xy plus 5y squared when x equals -2, y equals 3. 1.2.6. Translate phrases to expressions with integers. Our earlier work translating English to algebra also applies to phrases that include both positive and negative numbers. Example 1.22. Translate and simplify. The sum of 8 and -12 increased by 3. Solution. The sum of 8 and -12 increased by 3. Translate. Open square bracket, 8, plus, open parenthesis, -12, closed parenthesis, closed square bracket, plus, 3. Simplify. Be careful not to confuse the brackets with an absolute value sign. Open parenthesis, -4, closed parenthesis, plus, 3. Add. -1. Try at 1.43. Translate and simplify the sum of 9 and -16 increased by 4. Try at 1.44. Translate and simplify the sum of -8 and -12 increased by 7. 1.2.7. Use integers in applications. We'll outline a plan to solve applications. It's hard to find something if we don't know what we're looking for or what to call it. So when we solve an application, we first need to determine what the problem is asking us to find. Then we'll write a phrase that gives the information to find it. We'll translate the phrase into an expression and then simplify the expression to get the answer. Finally, we summarize the answer in a sentence to make sure it makes sense. Example 1.23. How to solve application problems using integers. In the morning, the temperature in Kendallville, Indiana was 11 degrees. By mid-afternoon, the temperature had dropped to -9 degrees. What was the difference in the morning and afternoon temperatures? Solution. Step 1. Read the problem. Make sure all the words and ideas are understood. Step 2. Identify what we are asked to find. The difference of the morning and afternoon temperatures. Step 3. Write a phrase that gives the information to find it. The difference of 11 and -9. Step 4. Translate the phrase to an expression. 11 minus, open parenthesis, -9, closed parenthesis. Step 5. Simplify the expression. 20. Step 6. Answer the question with a complete sentence. The difference in temperatures was 20 degrees. Try at 1.45. In the morning, the temperature in Anchorage, Alaska was 15 degrees. By mid-afternoon, the temperature had dropped to 30 degrees below zero. What was the difference in the morning and afternoon temperatures? Try at 1.46. The temperature in Denver was -6 degrees at lunchtime. By sunset, the temperature had dropped to -15 degrees. What was the difference in the lunchtime and sunset temperatures? How to use integers in applications. Step 1. Read the problem. Make sure all the words and ideas are understood. Step 2. Identify what we are asked to find. Step 3. Write a phrase that gives the information to find it. Step 4. Translate the phrase to an expression. Step 5. Simplify the expression. Step 6. Answer the question with a complete sentence. 1.2.8 Media. Access this online resource for additional instruction and practice with integers. 1. Subtracting integers with counters. https://openstacks.org/l/25 subintegers closing parenthesis.